Okay, so you decided to jump into the world of photography. Whether it's a hobby or a full-time job, here are your key things you need to do in order to get your business going. This is gonna be a 5-part video series. It's gonna be called All Things Beginner Photography, and it's gonna be condensed super simply into 5 separate videos. And so here we go. Starting off with our first video, I'm gonna talk about all the admin stuff you need to do to get yourself ready so that this can be an actual business and get going. The first thing you wanna do is set up a business license or have an actual business. This means starting yourself an LLC or an S Corp to separate yourself from a personal and your business. The reason you do this is that way you can, one, write off things. You can go ahead and start business cards, credit cards, start putting things into your company, and it separates any liability from you and your company, right? That means if anything were to happen negative, the company, your client cannot go after you as an individual and get you for everything you're worth, but instead goes after the company, and obviously that's capped on your earnings, and so it protects you a lot. It also allows you to get business insurance, keeps you protected in case you get up in a health emergency, your equipment breaks down, whatever it may be, you get that insurance you need for your business, so that way you're always covered, right? The second thing you wanna do is make sure that you have established a website and all the other contracts that you're going to need to start off. The worst thing to do is start your business off and not have any sort of things on paper or emails or contracts, because guess what? It's gonna bite you in the butt. And I know it because I didn't have it. I never had contracts for my bigger shoots, and then it's always been a hassle to either collect payment or agree on deliverables because we didn't have it written down on a paper and instead did over a phone call or through text. Now everything is done perfectly on paper, so you wanna make sure you have all those templates and everything set up to do that. The third thing you wanna do is start learning Adobe. Adobe is gonna be your best friend. There are 2 different options. If you are a student in university or college, whatever it may be, there is a package for students. Do not pay the full price for Adobe. There is an amazing package out there that allows you to get the whole Adobe suite for super cheap. I don't know, this is the price. My assistant will put it up there, and that will be your student price. Now, if you are not a student, this is your price for Adobe for just Lightroom and Photoshop, and then this is your price for the entire suite. I recommend if you're just doing photography, just go ahead and just do the Lightroom and Photoshop. There's no need to pay more for things that you're just not gonna use right now. You can always upgrade later and get the full Adobe suite later. You want to become as familiar as possible with this. One thing I did was I searched workflows. It's super simple. You go into YouTube, you search Lightroom workflows, Photoshop workflows, and you're gonna find a bunch of different people and their styles and how they go through editing photos. They're gonna be long videos, don't get me wrong. They're gonna be an hour, maybe 2-hour videos on how they edit photos and how they go from point A to all the way to the end, point B, I guess, or point Z, whatever you say. And essentially it's gonna give you the general gist of how you want to edit your photos. I went through about maybe 3 or 4 key workflows that now my workflows are super simple. It's straightforward. And instead of taking me 3-4 hours to finish a huge batch of photos, it now takes me maybe an hour or 2. And eventually, obviously I obviously I outsource a lot of my work to my company, my employees, and they take care of a lot of the editing for me now. But the workflow is gonna be super important. Getting familiar with Lightroom, getting familiar with Photoshop, knowing what does what and how to use it is really gonna maximize those edits so you can have photos that really stand out. One of my favorite photographers right now, a guy I just met, he is killing it, and his style is very particular, and I think that is something that makes you stand out. Whether or not that style fits a lot of other molds or is gonna work with other companies is totally a different question, but you do wanna nail down, hey, what is my editing workflow and how do I wanna do this? Because guess what, is gonna be key to your success, because you're gonna be doing it over and over every single day. So that definitely shouldn't be a weak point in your business. That should be one of your strengths. The fourth thing you wanna do is figure out what is going to be your delivery system. If you are thinking right now of Dropbox or Google Drive as a delivery system, I would just completely say do not do that. Stay away from Google Drive and Dropbox. It looks unprofessional. It's so jumbled. It just doesn't make sense. And then all the fees are gonna hit you hard with those terabytes or whatever if you end up sending original files or building it up. Things just get a little messy. There are 2 different things I recommend for photography deliveries. Your first one is gonna be Pass Gallery, which is the same company as Pixieset or pretty much whatever is out there. The companies just bought each other. I don't know who bought who, but they all look the same now, and they all pretty much have the same user interface and the same setup. It allows you to have beautiful galleries such as this, and then as you see on the screen, it just allows you to scroll right through, see a bunch of different photos. They can scroll through different categories, they can see different galleries, and it's gonna give you the best fluid delivery that you can give to a client, and that's really what you're looking for. So nail down really what company you wanna stay with and really stay with them throughout the entire thing of your career. For me, I choose Pass Gallery. They've been super nice to me. I pay this much a month, and honestly, I have unlimited space, and so it works out great for me. If you are delivering video, there are a variety of ways to do video. We'll cover that in another video. This right here is particularly for setting up a company, specifically a photography company. The last thing that you wanna make sure you have before you go out and launch your company is gonna be a website. This is super key. You wanna have a few things that go with this website. One, you wanna make sure you go into a Google Suite and get a specific Gmail or email for your company. You don't wanna be sending from ishootphotos@gmail.com. It is not good, it's unprofessional. It doesn't seem like you've invested enough time or effort into your company. You wanna have your name at, and then the name of your company, right? Or me at the name of your company. All that stuff is gonna really help validate and give you more credibility when pitching companies and pitching other clients. That is something you do from the get-go. That way you don't mix up personal email with business email. Keep it separate, make it really simple. Once you build that website, you want to build that website as good and as clean as you can. Obviously, you're going to make tweaks along the way. My website has been tweaked maybe a couple dozen times since I made it, and right now it's at a place that I'm comfortable with, and obviously I do need to do some maintenance on it, but my website is pretty much a placeholder for them pushing them into my gallery, then pushing them into my contact form. It's really not something that I hope that stands alone. It kind of stands with everything else I do and funnels clients to me and allows me to have some sort of base and headquarters, which obviously is my website. For website builders, there are tons of different sites you can use, Wix being one of the most popular, as well as Squarespace. I personally use Squarespace. If you want to sign up, use my link below. It's going to be great. It's going to be simple, and they offer tons of different themes and ways to build out your website. That's just easy. Not a sponsor, just great company. Once you have your LLC, all your contracts and paperwork set up, your Adobe Suite learned and downloaded, your delivery system set up, and your website set up, now you're ready to go and find those clients. You're gonna have the perfect foundation. You're gonna feel more comfortable with pitching a client. You're gonna feel like, hey, I actually have all my ducks in a row and I'm able to go out and start hunting. And so here's the thing. Once all of this is set up, we're gonna go into the next phase, which is how to land your first client and how to start getting paid. That's gonna be super crucial, and I hope that as you go through these steps and go through these videos, you can start applying it immediately. If you haven't yet started your company, if you haven't yet built a website, just hit pause. Don't go on to the next video. It's just gonna be pointless, right? Build all that first, get everything in order, and then go ahead and invest your time into finding more clients in the next video. All right, guys, see you in that.